What's up, guys? Just doing a video about a couple of things: the pound index and the document from last night. I thought it'd be kind of funny to throw that in. The WEF document. I wanted to look into a couple of things there. What we got here, pound is now the strongest by a long shot, and Aussie is finally getting weaker. We're just really waiting at this point for New Zealand to start following Aussie, and then we're waiting for Euro to start following pound. That's what I'm looking for here. We'll move this over here, and relative to last night, we can see against the Aussie, which was the one we were concerned about, we're six more buyers than in Aussie for pound. Because last night it was pound was 99 and Aussie was 97, and that's the first time we've seen that since the beginning of this drama that's been unfolding, building up this move over the last 2 weeks. Against the New Zealand, it's 98 and 87. So we're waiting on this still. And Euro is still weaker than pound. Here's the pound Aussie. That's coming along all right now. Like I said, don't sell it here because you're going to get stuck. And the same goes for New Zealand. We'll be seeing that same thing unfold soon too. And then after that, then we'll start looking at Euro, New Zealand, and Euro, Aussie. But we're not going to do that until we've done this. So, but for now, we'll keep putting the numbers in on the other charts. Pound Swiss is 77. Let's see where Aussie is. Aussie is 99, see it's still stronger, at 95 for New Zealand. So we're looking for this number to break down and the pound Swiss to pass it here, 77 and 99. So we're looking for those numbers to pass one another. So pound we need to get stronger and dollar Aussie weaker, and then we'll start seeing this thing go properly. For now, it's probably just a giant range. Pound dollar situation, we're here. We've taken some profit, but we're not going to do anything about that because we're expecting the pound to get super strong, so it's probably going to go higher. I don't know where it's going to go, but we'll just hold it until it tells us to get out when we read the numbers all over again. We'll move that there. And what we're seeing up here, pound is 92, Euro is 23, CAD is 80, dollar is reds, Swiss is still red, 30, LFX is dropping now finally, Aussie 85 and New Zealand 90. So in terms of the indexes, pound is now finally stronger than Aussie and New Zealand. We need Euro to come up next, and New Zealand to follow Aussie, and that's just what we're expecting to happen next. Yeah, so this is what I want to look at next here. Just try and move this around. Okay. If we can zoom in here, I hope you guys can see this. But last night I showed you about the countries, what to expect in different countries over the next 10 years. The documents here that they've already released for us in this pre-scripted reality. This is more detail on what is going to happen, and you can actually see here they tell you that the governments are going to fail to enforce or enact or invest in effective climate change adaptation and mitigation measures, preserve ecosystems, protect populations, and transition to a carbon neutral economy, which we don't need at all, because carbon's part of nature, right? So they're already forecasting which countries fail in that respect to Agenda 2030. They say the social impacts here. Let's read a bit about that. Erosion of social, structural deterioration of work prospects and or standards for working age, population, unemployment, lower wages, fragile contracts, erosion of worker rights, etc. So they already know that erosion of worker rights is going to happen. So why not stop it now instead of letting it happen? But they're by design just going to let it happen. And the reason I believe they're doing this is because this is in fact a simulation, and it's all just a giant test to see if what things work and what things don't work, and what things generate energy and what things don't. And just by doing this video, it's generating energy for this whole bunch of nonsense. But I think it's worth showing people because it's completely tied to what we've been demonstrating in these videos over the last few weeks, that it's a script and they tell you before and leave a trail of what's going to happen. This is just, instead of with numbers, it's in words, but you could decode this into numbers and find the exact same thing if you could be bothered to do it. It would take a while, but you could definitely do it. Best guy on YouTube to watch for that type of information, who decodes this type of stuff, is called Decode Your Reality, and he does everything with the even ties it in with the elements tables. Here, digital inequality, we saw that frequently. It says fractured and or unequal access to critical digital networks and technology between and within countries. As a result, unequal investment capabilities, lack of necessary skills in the workforce, insufficient purchase power, government restrictions, and or cultural differences. See, they're aware that their government restrictions are going to cause a problem, inequality, but yet they're going to go ahead and do them anyway, because they're telling you right there that's what's going to happen, and because of that, it leads to that. Failure of cybersecurity measures, that was all over New Zealand. Business, government, and household cybersecurity infrastructure and or measures are outstripped or rendered obsolete by increasingly sophisticated and frequent cyber crimes, which doesn't exist. There are no cyber attacks. It's all nonsense. It's just on television. Resulting in economic disruption financial loss, geopolitical tensions, and or social instability. So they already know the social um, reality of people on the streets and in workplace, etc., school are going to become disrupted, and they're telling you that here in the countries that have that on there. And yeah, you just go through this whole thing and it tells you everything, exactly what's going to happen. It's quite mind-blowing, really. Um, yeah, what other ones are there? State collapse. So more specifically, collapse of a state with global geopolitical importance as a result of internal conflict. So they know there's going to be internal conflict already, which they can avoid right now, but they're going to let it happen anyway. Breakdown of rule and law, erosion of institutions, military coup. So even expect a military coup in some of these places. Regional and or global instability. The terrorist attacks say large-scale scattered or isolated terrorist attacks, which don't exist, they're just on TV again, carried out by individuals or non-state groups. This should really say carried out by state groups with ideological, political, or religious goals, which is not true because they created all of this, resulting in a loss of life, severe injury, and or material damage. And the material damage would just be their own government buildings that they already have demolition plans on. So they're just doing that, but by filming it. And weapons of mass destruction was in Israel. Deployment of biological, chemical, cyber, nuclear, or radiological weapons. Okay, so the new version of weapons of mass destruction is going to be some type of biological thing, resulting in lost life, destruction, and international crisis. So that will be Israel, which is where the war is going to move to next, as we discussed back in December in the forecast then. If you can't remember that, just go back in the videos, you'll see it in there somewhere. But yeah, this is what we got to look forward to. But really, what I'm saying is here, it's not real because they've written it down, and that's what they're expecting to happen. So they're artificially creating this, which essentially means it's not real. So don't be scared of any of this. Just be spiritually alive, and none of this will matter because it's just, as you can see, all complete nonsense. But yeah, that's the video for the day. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks.